this is Sahar. I'm Palestinian, qualified chef, and I live here in the UK. Now I will be sharing with you an authentic Palestinian, Lebanese as well, and Syrian recipe. It's called Taboon bread, which means a bread that you can bake on clay. I believe as well Indians use this, like with the tandoori, I think, oven. It's made out of clay. Now, I don't have a clay, but I got a clay stone, which gives the same nearly the same taste. Now, the fermentation method I am using is going to be the Poolish fermentation, which is 24-hour ahead. I hope you watch the recipe and the video till the end, and if you've got any queries, please feel free to contact me on Facebook or Instagram, and let's start. As clay bread or taboon bread should be very sticky, we're going to use the right way to do it, which is the Poolish fermentation, which requires 24 hours ahead. So you use 400 grams of flour, 400 ml of water. So the same weight of flour should be the same weight of water or fluids, and 10% of that is yeast, instant yeast. So I'm using 4 grams of yeast. You need to mix it all together, and then it's going to go liquidy, and put a cling film and leave it overnight. The next day I have 280 grams. The 280 grams came from 70% extra flour you need to add to that, which is basically 280. And I'm going to add from 50 ml to 100 ml. It depends what kind of flour we are using. So sometimes if I use a certain brand, I need more because it absorbs more water. But anyway, it should be sticky. So I will add only a little bit. Here I added just 150, I think, of flour to it. I'm trying to stir it with the spatula. It's not going well, so I move it to the kitchen chef, and I will add the rest of my flour and the 50 ml, or I think I used around 70 ml of water, until it combines all very well, and it leaves the sides of the bowl. After adding all the flour, it should combine and go really smooth like this. You need to add oil at this stage to take it out of the bowl. How do we know that it's gone really, really well? It should be elasticy and bouncy. Look what test I'm doing. I'm spreading some oil on my worktop, and I will add my dough, and each time I put it, like stretch it to one side, it goes back. So that's elasticy. This is how it's supposed to look like. I'm dividing that to bowls. I think I had some eight bowls with this amount, and I will put them in the baking paper lined with some baking sheet or baking mat. I had baking mat there, and I will sprinkle that with flour, and guess what? We're fermenting again for another 4-5 hours. It's worth it. Do it. At the end, I will bake one bread for you to see how it looks like to the finish. Now I am doing today the taboon as a plain one. I can freeze that in the freezer. It can stay for up to 3 months. Nothing will happen to it. This can be as a good base for مسخن Ramallah, if you heard of it, a famous Palestinian dish, or for manaish, za'atar, which is a Lebanese, Syrian, Palestinian as well dish, for pizza as well. Okay, so I will cover this now, my flour, my bowls, with a cloth, and leave it for 5 hours. So this is how it will look like after 5 hours. It's ready. Now we need to spread it, because it has been fermented properly, because we use the right amount of flour and we use the right amount of fluids. It will spread without even rolling it out with with a rolling pin. By the way, this kind of fermentation is mainly famous in Napoli, in Italy, and they call it the famous Napoleon pizza. But we use it as well in Palestine, as I said, to do this bread, Taboon bread, and sage bread. I have the recipe in my channel as well. However, in sage we don't use any yeast. So can you notice how easy it is to stretch it? Because it's very easy to stretch it. We need to be really careful with it. If I take this on my hand and put it in the clay, on the clay stone, which is the pizza stone, or if you are lucky enough to have a clay oven, I had this in Palestine. Here in the UK, I don't have it. Maybe one day I will buy one for my home. At the restaurant where I used to work, we didn't have that. So we bake just in electric oven. Now here, to avoid stretching it, I put some oil on my pan, crepe pan maker, and I'm putting it on the hob just to dry a little bit so that it will be easy for me to move it into the oven.
Yeah, let's
see,
go.
it's dry. So now it's easy for me. I will half bake it, not bake it all. Then I will freeze it. See? It's dry, I will freeze it. Now I will bake one pizza and show you how it will look like after a full bake in an oven, not fan assisted. Can you hear it? Listen, it's amazing. It goes like bubbly from the inside. It's very, very tasty. I highly recommend trying this recipe, and thank you.